Hello Commanders, and welcome back to Clan Raid. We have Jormag back in the rotation. It's been a while. I think it's been just over a month since we've seen him, about 5 weeks. But we have some fun builds to show you. First, if you would like, subscribe, and if you have the desire to receive notifications when I drop new videos, hit that notification bell. Also, if you have any comments, please feel free to leave them below. And if you have any raid strats that you'd either like for me to share or you'd like for me to try, please feel free to submit those. I'll have a look at them. Again, I don't promise that I'll do all of them. I just would like to take a look, and we'll see what intrigues me. Anyway, thank you for watching. We are going to dive right in. Here is what we're working with. This is the fun build that I'm going to do. Now, I've burned through all of my immunity elixirs, but that's where the immunity elixir would be if I had any left. But I would be using immunity, range, or accuracy, and elemental resistance on this one. I've got toe, the Ring of Unity, and I'm using Spire on all of these builds because Spire, when you look at the boss, he's got resist conditions. So he's immune to all the other stuff. So Spire seems to be the only choice. When you look at the other options, the Eye of the Ancient One isn't going to work because it's condition-based. The Pendant of Everlasting Winter is not going to work because that's also condition-based. And Devour, you just, on most of these, you don't have enough units, and even once they pop, it's not going to matter much. He's just going to die. So Spear seems to be the obvious choice for all of these. Some builds Spear will not work with, because if you're trying to protect the Spire for an extended period of time, then you do not want the Spear knocking units into that. So I would recommend not having it equipped at all if you're going to try and go for a long-term strategy that'll take you through the full minute. So anyway, that's what we're working with here. We'll show you what we've got. We have our crystal spires. I've upgraded them substantially since I did my tower video. That one is a blast. I'll link that one in the description if you guys want to watch that. I did a really fun video in ranked play where I just nuked the crap out of everything with these. I've upgraded them. I've thrown on some power stones. You can see there lots of aims, lots of damage, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I've got 2 with double execute. So that takes it up to where you've got a 30% chance, or not 30% chance, at 30% health, the units that they're hitting will just die. So I've got 2 of those. I've placed one on the top, one on the bottom, just to disperse where they hit, and that should enable for a lot more units to die very quickly. So the way that this build functions, you've got everything cranked to the max. You've got your toe, you've got the ring, you've got the elixir of accuracy, and it's just going to crank for that first several seconds. We can look at how long that's going to last. It'll last 6 seconds at its current rank. So the first 6 seconds of the battle, I'm just going to be nuking the crap out of everything, and then it's going to keep going. So this build is just intended to nuke everything as quickly as possible and to have the boss reach those entangling roots and basically come to a halt, because he goes super slow once he reaches those. The Stormcallers, we'll pull those up real fast. I've got aim 3 times 2 on one, and damage 4 and aim 4 on the other. And I've managed to upgrade one of them to level 10, which I'm really excited about. But their job is to take out the arcane archers and the frost wizards, and then obviously whatever else they get as a bonus after that. The toe threshold that I have is less than 11 units, and this gives me exactly 10. The entangling roots don't count towards the threshold. So this will be one build that we'll show you. In fact, let's just do them as we go. This one was just a fun one, so let's see how it went. That would be this one. All right. So you notice that I burned my last immunity elixir on this one, and everything starts melting very quickly. but not quickly enough. I've got 3 seconds left, and there are just too many things to burn through. My Stormcallers just dropped. Now the towers are dropping, and fail. So I just wanted to show that one to you just because I had a blast doing that video the other day, and this one just seemed like it would be fun to try. If it had worked, I would have been delighted, but oh well. We have, for our second build, this is the Melee Swarm build. Now, this is based on the build that Stigma posted about a month ago. It's been updated a little bit, and I'll show you what I'm doing differently. Again, if I had more immunity elixirs, they'd be showing in that right slot. But we're using the elemental resist and damage. You can switch out elemental resist for force resist because the direwolves and the warhounds are all immune to freeze, as well as the wraiths. Every single one of these units is immune to freeze. So you really don't need the frost resist elixir for anything other than I put it on there for the plague bears because they are not immune to freeze, and I need them to hold that line for as long as possible because they are freezing attacks. So that's the reason I put that there, and because I didn't have any force resistance elixirs left. So force resistance would be a decent choice to replace the elemental resist with, but that's the only reason I included it. I have quite a few left, so I thought I'd throw it on. But yeah, immunity would be the third elixir, and that's how this build is designed to work. So we've got lots of damage 2s, a couple of thunder strikes, and a damage 3 in there on the wraiths. Again, I'm always starving for power stones. I try not to spend gems on anything that isn't permanent. The warhounds, we have damage 3 on a lot of them. I think, yeah, all of them except one, which has damage 2, and then run speed 2 on the rest. And the direwolves, they're mostly there just to buff the warhounds, but they do have a damage 2 and a protection. The protection doesn't really matter. We're mostly just trying to burn down the boss as quickly as possible before the immunity wears off. Plague bears, I put slow, and that's to keep them behind that pyre when all the risen warriors spawn on my side. So that's to keep that blocked up there. Again, I will post the link to Stigma's build that this is inspired by, that he posted about a month ago. But this is how this one went. I think this is the right one. Yep, here we go. All right. Oh, we didn't discuss the artifacts, but you can see just burning right through. The assassins are held back by the plague bearers. Now all the risen warriors are held back, and we're not too terribly concerned about the archers. We're using Primal Warhorn to get the major attack power buff. And then we've also got the Ring of Unity, which the nature units will benefit tremendously from at 5 seconds, and then the Chaos at 15 seconds. But they don't really last long enough to really get there. So that was the Swarm build, and you can see that that performed very well. Again, we're using Spear of Cataclysm because everything's condition immune. It just seems to be the best choice. And again, you could have some risk using that, because if it hits on your side of the battlefield and knocks any of those risen warriors to the pyre, then you might be in trouble. It might nerf your DPS substantially if you're counting on getting it all done in that first 10 seconds. You don't want anything to be interfering with that pyre. So those are just some things to consider for that one. And again, very pleased with that one. Worked very well. And then we have this one. This is a variation of the one that I did last month as well. There's some variations to this. Before, I had a lot of frost traps because there was no condition immunity. But this time, I've thrown in some bombs. And one more time, we would have put the immunity elixir in there. We did have it when we did the attempt, but I ran out of them, so it's not showing. So we're using power, immunity, and this one actually requires the elemental resist, and I'll explain why. The frost wizards that you see, about 2/5 of the way back from the enemy's front line there. They will hit your assassins, and also Jormag has that freezing pulse, and everything has freezing attacks. So if you do not have that, then your assassins will be frozen. They won't take damage because of the immunity for that first 10 seconds, but they will be frozen and useless. So I figured I had to use that. I went ahead and threw it in, and I ended up being very glad that I did. So again, power, immunity, and elemental resist. So for this one, we have the toe, the ring, and again, the Spear of Cataclysm, as we've already explained. And this one is just designed to knock out the heart. It's not looking for big numbers or to top the damage charts. You're just looking to secure the heart. So if you don't have a swarm build, if you don't have any other alternatives, and you've got some assassins, here I'll show you the assassins. We've got an 11 and 2 10s. I've got some pretty substantial power stones on them with the damage 3s and the damage 4s. And then the bombs, I put the 2 highest level bombs in the back with slow, and that's to catch the assassins that pop. And then the front bombs are just to kind of clear that front line and then get my unit tally below 11 for the toe. So once all the bombs get blown up, which happens very quickly, everything gets hit with a big heal and a 70% damage boost, which you will see here. So yeah, 70% max health boost and their attack potency up to 70%. Now, as I explained the last time around when I did this assassination build for Jormag, I have intentionally done only 3 sets of assassins, because you can have 4 sets of assassins, and you notice I have that 4th one. You don't want to do that if you're running the toe, because if you're running the toe, that puts you over the threshold and actually gives you less damage than if you were below the threshold and have all 9 of those assassins amped up with 70% attack power. So the bombs are meant to disappear quickly. Then you've just got this Molten Armor up front, and his job is just to catch that first bolt of shots from the arcane archers. So they're all going to target him because he's the closest thing, and either that or the bombs. But almost no matter who they target, it's going to go past the pyre and not hit it, because you want that pyre active the entire time. The Entangling Roots, they have ability 1 and ability 2, and that's just to slow down those Risen Warriors long enough to get the kill. So let's go ahead and show you how that played out. Okay, that should be this one. Okay, here we go. Alright, so drawing the fire with that Molten Armor. Arcane Archers are already dead, and look at him melt. Poof, heart gone. We bought a few more seconds to crank some more DPS until that first Risen Warrior hits just now, and then we're basically done. Now, this is going to keep going for a while. I'll probably stop it here in a second, but that Molten Armor just lasts forever. He's freeze immune. We got the elixir anyway, but it doesn't matter. He has the highest HP for a 2-point unit, and that's why I put him in there. And he does his job very well, but again, you kind of have to wait till the end for everything to be done. So anyway, those are the 3 builds. 2 of them very viable. And again, depending on what unit levels you have and what power stones you've equipped on whatever, you can kind of pick and choose what works for you. A lot of these builds may work with different artifacts. It just depends on how you want to go about it. If you don't have a good toe or a good ring, then you may just want to stack a whole bunch of swarm units in there with some assassins, and that, in fact, I might even try that out. But if you do that, then your assassins would still get a massive attack buff, and you just throw those couple of bombs in the back. It takes care of the enemy assassins, and you'd be able to nuke them very quickly. So that's something you might consider as well. We'll just throw this in as a little bonus for those of you who want to keep watching. I understand if you leave at this point, but this is my SR4 build from my secondary profile. So here, let's just explain this one real fast. We've got oh, let's go all the way back so you can see there we Okay, so yeah, this one, the Risen Warriors in the back are designed to split and go and get those 2 Arcane Archers. And the tree and the Crystal Spire are meant to kill any of the smaller units that get near that pyre. We're not too concerned about the pyre being hit originally in the first part of the battle. We just want to kill everything quickly. So you could put another 3 Crystal Spires in there if you want. I just felt safer with the tree. The tree just kind of keeps everything away from the 1 Crystal Spire that you've got, and it still does a great job at clearing out all the units. The Paladin down at the bottom and the Drummer are meant to keep those Warhounds going. The Dire Wolves would last a long time by themselves. If you have a whole bunch of Dire Wolves, you could just stack those and send those after Jormag. But the Warhounds are going to clear a lot faster, and if you can keep them up, they'll go for a long time. So that's the concept here. We've accounted for the Arcane Archers, we've accounted for the Risen Warriors and all the stuff on the front line. It's all taken care of. The only other thing is the Assassins. They're just going to run up to that pyre and wail on it for half a second until they come out of stealth, and then they're going to get nuked by the tree and the Crystal Spire. So that's what I did. No elixirs. I wish I had the Primal Warhorn, because I might have done something totally different, but I still haven't gotten Primal Warhorn on this. So let me show you how it goes. Okay, we'll clear that off. There we go. Okay, so Crystal Spire already cranking. You see those Assassins reach the pyre, but oh well, they're about to get eaten alive. And everything starts clearing up. We've got a whole bunch of Warhounds and Dire Wolves right up front there. And most of them are still up and running. The Paladin and the Drummer keep them going for a long time. You probably want protection on the Warhounds for the second slot, and then damage for the first one. But there it is, pretty straightforward. No conditions to worry about on this one, so not terribly complicated. But anyway, there's 3 SR12 builds and a bonus SR4 build for you. Thank you for watching. Please do like and subscribe. And if you have any suggestions for things you'd like for me to try, I'll take a look at them and see if it's something I'd like to give a shot. But again, I appreciate y'all watching, and thank you for supporting my channel.